It's week 12. We got less than a month left. Fun! I know. Hey everybody, hope you're having a wonderful and awesome week. The big news we have to talk about before anything else is the research proposal. One day you're looking around on the internet and you run across this article entitled, American Food Sucks. Let's say for the sake of argument, because we all love argument, that you disagree with this. Well, we can write a disagreement of this. If you directly disagree with this article, you can format your argument as an argument against this article, following it point by point. And that's perfectly legitimate. That is, in fact, a way to make sure you are situated within a debate. However, you're still going to need examples. Well, if you think back to the original article, it mentioned the Cheesecake Factory in the headline. Is that typical American food? I don't think so. And there's a problem. If we're going to do a disagreement, we have to come up with our own examples to counter their examples. And if one of our arguments is that their example is very limited, the Cheesecake Factory, really, then we have to come up with something that's a bit more specific. Now, we could pick a specific American cuisine, because we don't cook just one type of food in this country. We could pick Cajun, which comes from, as they say down there, Nolans. We could pick Californian cuisine, where they put avocado on everything. Or we could pick Southern cuisine. Southern food is awesome. And I'm not saying that just because I'm from the South. There's some really good stuff there. But trying to cover all of Southern cuisine as our example isn't going to be any better than trying to cover all of American cuisine, because there's a broad depth. So we pick something specific that we've experienced, that we have knowledge of, that we can do some research onto. Say, for instance, the very marvelous shrimp and grits from the Acme Low Country Kitchen in the Isle of Palms, South Carolina. I ate here, folks. If you ever find yourself in the Isle of Palms, good God, get yourself to this restaurant. It was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. That is a specific example which we could use to say, see, all American cuisine doesn't suck. There's some really good stuff here. Case in point, shrimp and grits from the Acme Low Country Kitchen. Well, let's say, for the sake of argument, that you actually agreed with them and you don't think American cuisine is that good. You're going to have to come up with your own example of American cuisine at its worst. So, what do you think of as American cuisine at its worst? Well, if you're thinking fast food, you're probably not alone, but there's a lot of fast food places, people, and all of them do certain things that suck. You gotta pick one. And for my mind, if you're looking for bad fast food, one of the best options is Burger King. Look at the enormous omelet sandwich. Yes, this is a monstrosity that they actually released in the public. If you're using this as an example of how American cuisine can actually be very, very bad, I think this is a fairly effective example of that, wouldn't you? Good God, it just looks disgusting as all hell. What we are doing here is we are moving from generalizations into very specific evidence. And the specific evidence will really highlight our argument. If we're arguing that American cuisine is bad, this is one example that will really drive that one home. General is big overviews. Specific tells you exactly what's going on. Specific stuff stays in the reader's mind. Let's look at another example. Say we want to write something about grocery stores. You know, everyone knows a grocery store. Everyone's been into a grocery store. But grocery stores aren't all the same. There are tons of different grocery stores. Some of them are better than others. So we have to pick one. I would pick a specific Piggly Wiggly that I went into one time. Mostly because I just like saying Piggly Wiggly. Let's say we're making some kind of argument about how entertainment is now all streaming. Well, entertainment in general is streaming, yeah, but there's so many different streaming channels, we can't do a big overview in a small paper. We have to pick a specific example. Sometimes that can point you directly to your argument. For instance, anybody got HBO Max? There's good content there, but good God, does that app suck. It is slow and awful. Kind of points you towards the argument. Specific is always better. Take a serious issue like drinking water and how we treat our water. If we wanted to write about that, if this was something we're interested in, we can't really just do a big broad overview. We're not writing Wikipedia entries here, after all. We would have to go to something specific, a specific location. And again, this might point you towards some very icky stuff. Like my lovely hometown of Maumee, Ohio, reported that they have been discharging millions of gallons of sewage into the local river, and they've been doing it for years. So, of course, they have to raise my sewer rates to make up for their own stupid mistake. Personal complaining aside, a specific city is going to show you a specific problem or a specific thing you can talk about, and then you can still extrapolate to the world at large. But starting specific is a better strategy all around. You don't want to go big, broad, and general because we never know what we're talking about. Specific will allow us to focus on keen details. And let's face it, the specific Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, looks a whole lot better than any of these general Kenobis, right? So the biggest thing you have to worry about this week is getting that research proposal down pat if you didn't get the points on it. If you didn't get the points on it, fix the issues. Get specific. Give me a specific example for it to work as your subject of analysis. You gotta get specific. This is only a 6-page paper. We're not writing books here, so you gotta get compact. There will be plenty enough to write about, and you could still relate this one thing to all the world as a whole. For the rest of the week, getting that right, and then working on your research essay is your biggest deal. We do also have a bunch of videos to watch, and we have the Narrative 4 writing skills builder assignment, and we have a very interesting piece by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Ta-Nehisi Coates, I think. I never know how to pronounce his name. But it's an amazing piece of writing, which, if you've been awake for the last couple years at all, you're going to know the relevance to this. So, work on the research proposal. Narrative 4, Ta-Nehisi Coates. Let me know if you have any questions, but get your research topic narrow and specific. Remember, we do not have time to revise this one. It's due at the end of class. Have any other questions? Hit me up via Remind. Let me know, and I hope you have a great week. I will see you in week 13. Lucky number. Bye.